Hey, what's up y'all? This is Madmave. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be talking about the new Netflix release film, The Harder They Fall. The Harder They Fall is directed by James Samuel, which I'm going to talk more in a minute just about him and what he's done on this film and who he is. But the story is basically a revenge story that is about an outlaw named Nate Love that gets his gang back together to take out another enemy named Rufus Buck that just got sprung out of prison. So the feel of this movie's dialogue and pace can be really fun, heartfelt, and brings a certain type of swag that feels really refreshing to see in a Western. The story by itself from beginning to end is a messy, emotional surprise that I absolutely enjoyed. I'm not going to compare it to Dune, but just the ensemble cast that they had with this much talent did not disappoint. Outstanding job for everybody all around. I loved it. I mean, you got people like Regina King as Trudy Smith, Lakeith Stanfield as Cherokee Bill, Zazie Beetz as Stagecoach Mary, Idris Elba as Rufus Buck, which he is the villain of this movie, RJ Seiler as Jim Beckworth, Delroy Lindo as Bass Reeves, which I think he was the sheriff of the movie. You even got Damian Wayans Jr. as Monroe Grimes, which was really refreshing to see. And of course our star, Jonathan Majors, that plays Nate Love. He was great. His style, the way that he showed confidence while also showing care, worry, and a sense of vulnerability. I just really liked it. He did an awesome job. While this movie did go under my radar, once I seen him in there specifically with this talented cast, highly talented cast, I had to check it out. And if you're asking why, and if you didn't know, just in case, he is supposed to be the new villain for Ant-Man 3. He's supposed to be playing King the Conqueror. So definitely look out for him more because he's set to play that, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him play that after I seen this great performance that he did in this movie. And for my people that are probably yelling at the screen and that's been telling me over and over again, my close friends of mine that know me, that's been telling me to watch Lovecraft Country, I get it. I'm gonna watch Lovecraft Country definitely after I've seen this great performance of his. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to him playing King the Conqueror. And I also wanted to mention the cinematography, the tone, and the music, which was so cohesive and so in sync. Not gonna lie, definitely had Tarantino vibes, but I'm not gonna knock it, and I'm sure Tarantino wouldn't knock it. It definitely had its own type of take on things and how they did it, but just definitely had that vibe. But far as how they did it, there's just something about it that felt so together and so mended together when it comes to like just how they were visually telling the story, from just the music beats and how it dropped, and of course the story itself. So I digged deeper when it comes to researching, and it made me think about the director. And this is a director that I've never heard before, never seen before, and he's on Netflix making a movie like this. So this is the part in the beginning of the video that I was talking about I was going to talk more about the director, and I just wanted to take the time out to really read his bio, just a little summary of his bio. For some reason, when it comes to the director, they're putting a different name, which I guess he goes by a different name. It says James Samuel, which is the same guy. It says he goes by The Bullets. He is a British singer and songwriter, music producer, and filmmaker. His studio album titled They Die by Dawn and Other Short Stories was released in 2013. He is the brother of the Grammy Award-winning musician Seal. If y'all haven't heard of Seal. Baby, I can bring you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, So he is the brother of Seal, and once I started digging even deeper, from what I understand, he wrote the screenplay, he composed the music and everything, which obviously it's, you know, a combination of scores, far as instrumentals, and also a little bit of like urban, you know, reggae and rap and things like that. But he composed the music, so wrote the screenplay, composed the music, and obviously you can tell frame by frame he was working with a cinematographer to get that, you know, that tone that he wanted. It almost felt like, I mean, if I asked him, I'm pretty sure it's a project, a passion project of his that he's been like, you know, wanting to put out, and he did a great job. I really liked what he did, and I definitely felt it from the screen that, you know what I mean, this is a person that really wanted to tell a story and make it entertaining for everybody. So one of my cons that I can say about this movie is that I do not think that it needed to be 2 hours long. I can't believe I'm making another Dune comparison, but when it comes to Dune, you can go back and see my review if you like to. But one thing about Dune that I was saying is that there's only so much stuff actually happening in this movie that you didn't really have to make it 2 hours. But I mean, again, totally two different movies, and Dune considerably, that was a part one of, you know, a part two story that was not told, compared to this movie that is a whole story that, when it comes to the events, and if you think about it, there's not too much things that happen in this movie, and personally I just don't think that it needed to be 2 hours. And my biggest gripe of this movie would have to be the second, it's like the second act going into the third act. They have a specific scene where Zazie Beetz as Stagecoach Mary has to make a decision, or makes the decision to go into Redwood. And after this happens, I feel like the intelligence level for all the characters that I was starting to like love, and I still love them, I still like the characters, but the intelligence level went down like 3 times, like 3-4 times. Like I just thought, I was like, why are we doing this? And then right after that, there's a situation at Maysville, and it just feels like it, I mean, despite it being hilarious, I just felt like it just didn't need to happen. It all that did not need to happen. And the best way, without spoiling it, the best way to explain it is when it comes to any Western that you've seen, Westerns like Tombstone or Unforgiven or Once Upon a Time in the West, or even Magnificent Seven, there's a certain weight, or what I would like to call, when it comes to Westerns, the ruling, the code, the stakes and the casualties of, like, you know, living in the West. And I just feel like any Western makes sure to let you know that, yeah, when it comes to the West, back in the day, the Westerns, like that was a very scary time at that time. And all I can say is that when it comes to that situation and how they play it off from other Westerns, and, you know, how they play it off too, because they use the ruling and how they talk to each other. And when somebody pulls out a gun, you know what I mean, like everybody knows, everybody's in agreement that, you know, somebody pulling out a gun and somebody getting shot in a Western is more prone to die and not come back, compared to like an MCU film. You know what I mean? Like somebody gets shot, oh, they might come back, or, you know what I mean, you see a whole bunch of bullets, some people will get shot. There's less weight when it comes to it. Like you're having more fun with that film compared to, like, you know what I mean, your experience watching this film and just feeling like, oh, that person is gone. You know what I mean? And I just felt like the way that they used that situation just did not sit right with me, and I just felt like the characters were kind of sabotaged to look dumb about how they handle the situation. And I mean, I'm not gonna knock it. At the end of the day, the third act, once that came up in the movie all by itself, I feel like did really well for itself, and I still would like to see the sequel, because most of the story and the writing I felt like was pretty tight. Other than that second part, that second act where Stagecoach Mary goes in, was great. So my last con I would like to speak on is about the secondary characters. I just felt like the secondary characters could have had more screen time. Simple thing, little nitpick. I'm sure it's a decision that I wouldn't even be mad with the filmmakers if that's the decision that they made. I felt like they did give me the secondary characters also. They had plenty of dialogue back and forth and everything, but compared to the lead and what was going on, I just felt like they could have, you know, incorporated them a little bit more. But I mean, that is a nitpick, and I'm not gonna really knock that too much. So when it comes to my score to The Harder They Fall, I'm gonna give it a 8.3 out of 10. So that's my review. If you like this video, if you like this movie, let me know how you like it down below in the comment section. If you dislike this movie, let me know how you feel about that down in the comment section. And also everything that we talked about when it comes to Zazie Beetz, Stagecoach Mary going into Redwood, was that necessary? And how they executed it, specifically how they executed it, did that work out for you? And when it comes to Maysville, was it hilarious to you? Did you laugh as much as I did or not laugh at all? And just the situation of them going to Maysville, the whole thing that they had to do, was it worth it? Did it make sense to you? Because it definitely stuck out as just did not work for me. So other than that, if you like this video, press that like button. If you want to hear, or if you want to get notifications of my videos when they pop up, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more notifications. But for now, y'all have a great day. Madmave is out.